Hello everyone, Matthew97657 here, and today we are back with yet another figure unboxing and review. And as the title and thumbnail suggests, this is the Shin Godzilla Night Combat version SH Monsterarts. So, with that, nothing more to it than to get right on into it. Alright, so we have our handy dandy knife here. Precaution with knives, always be careful when you use them. Stuff like that, but in terms of what we have here today, as I have previously addressed, this is the newest reissue for the Shin Godzilla mold that they made back in 2016. But this one is classified as the Night Combat version. This is pretty much, think of it as the depiction of before he lets off, or it lets off the atomic breath sequence. So that is very cool. As we can see here, we have some protective packaging, and boom, there it is. As you can tell, it's kind of got that old translucent plastic and then the Shin Godzilla name, just like how the old Monsterarts used to be. And so we're gonna lift, oh, hold on. We're just gonna lift, almost. Okay. So we still got some protective protective bubble wrap packaging. The box is empty, you can see there. I purchased this one from Awesome Collector. I usually like to buy my Monsterarts figures from them. Not sponsored in any way, but just been a long time customer. So that was the back, I assume, and look at this here. This seems to be more like the front, right? I would assume that seems to be more like the front compared to the back. So very cool nonetheless. I really do like the pose they've got him in there, and then they kind of have some additional glowing effects to kind of sell you on the translucency that is seen here. So there is the front, very, very nice. So we're going to lift it up. Here is the top portion of the box, Shin Godzilla, obviously SH Monsterarts. And then we have a side box here with some of these stock images and the ways you can pose it. New and I guess you could say improved mold, like a base mold with the translucency. It makes it look like it's glowing, which is very nice. And then the bottom of the box is there as well. So let's go ahead and get in here and start the review officially. So pretty simple. One slot there. I'm gonna pull it out here just for the sake of it, and then we're gonna pull gently and look at that. You guys get the first look. This part is empty. No accessories on this guy, just the straight mold like the very first release. So do we have any tape here? No. I think we're good to just get it open. Let me close my knife real fast. Really bad way to handle it there, but a little eager, you could say, to get into this. So simple, two plastic piece cover. Pretty heavy actually for just its cover. That very nice new figure smell. And I have not even looked at it. I'm just kind of like broadly outlining it. But here he is. So I do have both my room light, and then I have an additional light as well, hopefully, so we can see some of the nice translucent parts here. Wish I had like a headlight, that'd be pretty cool. But look at him here. This is Shin Godzilla, and just straight out, I really like that. Obviously, there's concern about the headpiece, and we'll get there. What I'm going to do actually is I'm going to move the camera up so we can actually get some better shots here, right? So here we have the head. And just look at that. So I'm gonna open the mouth. You can see a massive, what would we call that? Overbite? Because technically, no, underbite. Because I think it's your bottom jaw is the one that's biting. So massive there. But if you want, you can go pretty wide there. And then as you can see, the inside of the mouth as well. It's a metallic-y red, which actually looks pretty nice. I'm not even gonna lie. I really like this whole metallic translucency they're going with. But even just in general, like having the mold, I've wanted an SH Monsterarts Shin ever since it first came out, but locally they were pretty hard to find. It never really got an official English release until now. It's having its first ever localization, so it's very cool to see. So as you can see the mouth there, it kind of looks a little derpy. That side doesn't look too bad, but if you want the jaw completely closed, that doesn't look bad. And then the side angle doesn't look it doesn't look awful, I'll say that, but we'll continue on. So head articulation onto the neck here, as you can join along, and you can see the translucency there. Headpiece, right, so there's that, and then this lower jaw, so there is that. Is there a tongue? No, he didn't have a tongue. What am I saying? So there's a neck piece here with these two dorsal plates, another neck piece with just that one, and that's pretty much it for the neck. So you get 2 pieces of neck. You can go pretty far down if you like, as you can see there. And so we're gonna move on to the chest here. I'm gonna move the camera back down so we can get a little bit more of a better perspective. So we have this big chest piece here. You can make him look down. You can recreate that scene, which is very, very cool. Obviously, you have this gap, which does look a little awkward, if I'll be honest. So if you want to have him upright, there you go. And then we kind of have this protruding chest piece that is just there. And then I think this is all one piece here, right? There's that. And then you can kind of swivel it. So I think that's all one piece there. Next, we're gonna go on to the little arms. I hope these guys don't break on me. They're just little, and I'm kind of afraid. So we have a full arm here, right? There's a piece, I guess if you want to call it a shoulder piece, shoulder blade. There's a piece there. There's a part going towards the elbow here. And then lastly, it's the full-on arm portion. So you can kind of give it a little wiggle, and then even the arm, you can kind of like articulate just a little bit, and then with the hand you can do a full 360. So very nice. Thankfully no parts have popped off. We're gonna keep rolling, hoping that stays throughout the entire video. Next up, we have the kind of crotch piece here coming towards down the beginning of the tail. That seems to be a whole piece. We do have a little bit of a tail piece right in here, and then from there I think almost every individual slot is like tail articulation. So there's one. Let me move it down now. Sorry if y'all, I feel like that might be like kind of not good to look at when I adjust the camera, but I'm very fast with it, so I think it's viable. But let me know what y'all think. I'm trying to always incorporate new ways. But yeah, this tail, you know, you keep moving, and each like protruding piece that kind of comes to cover that next part of the tail, each one of them, as of right now, as we're seeing, right, we're just kind of going through it. They all seem to have some form of articulation. We've kind of hit a little block between this here, where it's not really doing it. And then obviously, I'm going to move the tail down for us to see in full action. The tail piece can fully rotate. And then, let me try and find the mouth. There it is. And if you guys can get a somewhat focused look, the mouth is right in here. This little divot that's sculpted out, that's the mouth. But I don't have a good enough camera where it's noticeable. But obviously, the creepy mouth is sculpted in there, so that's very nice. And so that pretty much, we'll come back to the tail. That's like a very quick overview of it. Moving on to the thighs here, we have a nice, clean articulation of swivel. And then up, you can kind of go up that far, and then down if you want, you can kind of go there. I want to try and 360 it. Yeah, so that was very clean. That was no resistance. Onto the knees, into the calves here. There's a little bit of a knee joint that you can't really individually move. It moves along with how you move it, the rest of the leg, and then the foot as well. He has kind of that like overall, the heel is risen, and there is no way to move that down, but the foot piece is there, and you can probably fully 360 it. Yeah, so, oh, a little worrying. But it looks like we got that there. So if I skip the tail, I apologize. I think I'm going to try and go a little slower here. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3 right here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then right here, this seems to be 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and then let's get a good closer look here. 21, 22, 23. This seems to be like one piece. 23, 24, and then 25. So around 25, 26 pieces of articulation seen throughout the tail. Obviously, Shin Godzilla has a very, very long tail, so you can really get some good posability in with it, and with posability, he seems, oh, the tail weight, that's what it is. So I guess since you don't want to lean it, you kind of have to curve it a little bit, kind of like how the X Plus Shin looks, where it curves, it starts, and then it curves the other way. So we can get some of that weight distribution in. And yeah, so I'm gonna move the camera down so we can see more of the feet and the angle of how I'm talking about, right? Where we have it kind of hooked, coming that way, and then we have the rest of the tail going in the opposite direction. Something like that. I mean, you know, Monsterarts, the idea of you can kind of articulate it the way you would like it to be. So if you're a fan of that, then I feel like this one's for you, especially since this is, like I said, the very first time that we're getting a standard release of a Shin Godzilla Monsterarts for the first time ever. I think this is a perfect time to pick this guy up if you're a fan of Shin and you're a fan of the Monsterarts. I will say the sculpt, it's very nice. I think the head obviously is probably the most controversial part. And speaking of the head, that really is about it for the video in terms of how it looks. But just look at the appreciation of the glow. I really like that. I really wish I had another form of light. I have 2 forms of light on right now. But if I could go in and flash it, like, we could see that even more. As you can see, like, just there, it looks like it's glowing. So I really, really like that. It's a very, very nice touch to give it kind of a glowing without the glow. As you can see it throughout the tail here and then on the back as well. So very nice. I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But this one, I'm really liking it. I mean, putting away the wanting this figure for what, 4-7 years, it's definitely, it feels nice. It really does. So that is it for pretty much the articulation. Like, that doesn't look too bad. Like, he looks pretty menacing, right? He's kind of like giving you like a really dirty look. Let's just kind of go ahead and give it a change here. The tail is almost as long as my whole table. The figure, so there and here. I don't know how long this table is, but for good measure, this table is pretty long. I would say maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to guess. But standard Shin, right? It's kind of the same with Ultima. I think Ultima had a longer tail if we wanted to bring him out, but I don't, because he's super wide and he takes up everything. So we're going to stay with the Shin here, but the tail, very, very long. And then obviously, if you want, you can just have it go straight up. Probably the most friendly shelf cabinet way, just have it go up so it's more like that compared to like that. So obviously, feel free to pose it however you would like. But I'm just going to kind of just give some more poses. And then we'll start with the comparisons. So that's like a really standard, right? Like the bottom shot up. That's like the poster for Shin Godzilla. So very, very cool. And then you can also have him in like a very kind of like aggro position. So yeah, I would say the weight distribution is probably going to be seen throughout the tail the entire time. As you can see, some of that translucency. And so, yeah, you can kind of have him in a little bit of a dynamic pose. Kind of have him looking down. Whoa. And obviously where the tail goes, that's where the weight's going to go. So you always want to kind of plan that accordingly. So we're going to go back to the standard position. I'm going to have the tail flat as well. We'll start off with our reviews. I don't have any previous version of this figure simply because it wasn't available to me at the time. So we're going to go with the Shin Godzilla figures I do have. And so this is the very first Shin Godzilla I had. This is the Sega figure. And I'm just going to kind of move it along here. The Sega is going to about the chest plate there. And then, yeah. So there's our Shin there. And then I picked two of the other Bandai Shins that I thought were closest to it. So this is the USJ Godzilla vs. Evangelion figure. And this is probably the closest like paint application figure-wise we have to compare with this Monsterarts. So we're going to go ahead and start there. Both have that kind of like black with translucency. But as you can see, the Monsterarts is a lot more deep with that black color compared to the Bandai figure. Both very nice looking figures though, to me. Translucency, like if I kind of like mess with the light, we can like see it a little bit more. So there's that. And then lastly, we're gonna end it off with the newest Shin Godzilla figure besides him in terms of the Bandai Movie Monster Series line. This is the this is the Shin Japan Heroes Universe Shin Godzilla Metallic Red. So 7 years, huh? 7 years, and we're still getting a heavy amount of Shin Godzilla stuff. It's pretty much the golden pony for Toho right now. For years, it was, you know, like the Heisei suit, like your standard 94, 89 suit, but obviously, with the huge success of Shin Godzilla and the Shin Japan Heroes universe that's kind of happening right now, you know, they're just trying to capitalize on it as much as they can, which, I mean, from a business standpoint, that's really understandable. So that is going to wrap it about it for the review portion. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of mess around with the figure on some of the new figure announcements and stuff like that. So if you are only here for the review, I really do appreciate you for watching this far. It really does mean a lot. As always, let me know what you think of this figure here, if you're going to decide to pick them up or pass on it. So to the regular viewers, thank you so much. Feel free to click off now. And so with the other people that would like to stay and watch kind of just like my own perspectives on some of the things, first off, thank you. Second off, I actually really like this figure. I know I like kind of like skimmed through it. I was just kind of like bam, 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 right? But like to appreciate this figure like on its like entirety, I actually really like it. I would say the only thing that is kind of like iffy once again is the head. But what I was getting to is there's a guy who does some of the Monsterarts kind of like molding with 3D printing, and they actually have printed the Shin Godzilla head in a translucent red plastic, in which the only thing you would need to do is add like black wash, like a black paint wash. Oh my goodness, excuse me. And so if I can get my hands on it and afford it, I honestly might do that. And you know, if push comes to shove, I mean, the eyes look fine. I know I really didn't get in there. Well, they're kind of like looking apart, but that's always kind of like a Shin's thing. It just kind of looks a little awkward with the jaw like closed like on a side thing, right? Especially the Godzilla sword too. They didn't really help it. They made it look a little ugly. But in some spots, like honestly, I think it does look fine. But the replacement head does look better. So I will admit that. Besides that, what are we on? I don't really think we've had too many X Pluses come out. I think the only thing I've pre-ordered so far is the Defo Real 2003 Rick exclusive that comes out in June. I definitely did order that. I would never miss that on like my life, honestly. So that is on the way. Dang. Bandai wise, we did see a Godzilla store presentation in the month of April, and they revealed, well, they went through this figure here, and they also revealed some of the upcoming like plans they have for some of the figures. They went through a whole Monsterarts thing. I don't really know why they did it, but they did. And then obviously they did reveal one new Bandai Movie Monster Series, which is the metallic Megalon. I guess we call it retro color version. Looks very nice. It's like a silver metallic paint with like a very light brown metallic paint app on it. So that one comes out next month in May for Megalon's 50th anniversary. So definitely get ready to see that on the channel. I still have not ordered the Moon Pearl, White Day, Shin Godzilla, Bandai Movie Monster series. I just haven't had it. I just haven't had enough to order it, simply enough. Everything I'm pretty much getting now is like things from I've paid for it beforehand. So that will be coming. No worry, don't worry about it. I'll be caught up on that. And then on the Godzilla store presentations, they did say that there was going to be like movie monster series figures every month. And so like, wow, like that's kind of a lot, honestly. So we'll see what they announce. But if you know me, I'm more of just a limited movie monster series collector. And yeah, speaking of, that does bring me to my last topic, I guess. Okay, I'll cover this and I'll cover the SH Monsterarts and that'll be it. So right now in Japan, they're having an exhibition called Godzilla the Art. It's pretty much a like 1954 themed exhibition hall where there's like props and like they have like, not the original suit obviously, but they have like statues of the 54. It's very cool if you can find photos of it. Obviously only Japan, but they are also having a commemorative figure, which is the original, well, it's a replication of the original Godzilla 1954 maquette, right? The one where he obviously looks like all deformed looking and like the spine is like very curved and then it kind of comes up like that. A very, very, very cool Bandai figure. I believe that one is an event exclusive and it won't be out until December, but that is definitely a figure I will be getting. So look forward to that in December. And then lastly, I'm going to end it off with the Monsterarts. So I know I kind of talked about them already, but we did see the official release of the 1991, Godzilla 1991 suit, as well as a 1954 reissue. So for those who have missed out on the 1954 Monsterarts and you want to take the plunge, then now is a good time, for they are reissuing that figure. And then obviously the 91, and then we also have Gigan coming out eventually, right? So I think that covers it. Oh, did they tease something else? I feel like they teased something else. I think SH Monsterarts did tease a Showa suit. I don't recall what it was, but I think they did. A lot of people were saying the 1971 suit. So we'll see. It's in due time, right? Mecha King Ghidorah reissue just came out, I believe, here in the States this month or the next month. And then obviously Gigan, and then the 2002 reissue, and then the 91, and then we'll see from there. So we'll see. We still have the Godzilla store May presentation, which we'll see the next movie monster series figure that comes out for probably Godzilla Day. And then we still have to see the new 2003 Godzilla Toho film trailer, literally anything. We still have to wait for that as well. So we're kind of having a little bit of a waiting stage here and there, but as always, we will get there, right? 2003 Godzilla film, and then obviously I forgot to mention the 2024 Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire short that we got, the little teaser trailer that we got. So there will be more Monsterverse content next year, as well as having Toho Godzilla content this year, as well as just more other tokusatsu stuff as well. Shin Kamen Rider, I believe, is coming out in May 31st, around there. So I will definitely be seeing that. And with that, I've talked a lot, but I think that is going to actually wrap up this video here. So as always, if you've actually stayed till the end of this, then thank you so much. I really like it. I really like to talk about this, and to the people that, you know, might listen to me, put me on in the background, hell, I appreciate it, truthfully. As always, let me know what you guys think of the figure here, and let me know what you guys think of the new Monsterverse teaser. Let me know your anticipations for the 2003 Godzilla Toho film. And then lastly, let me know, did I already say what you think of this figure? I'm going to say I didn't. So let me know what you guys think. And just talk in the comments. I truly appreciate it. I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. I know I'm kind of bad at it. But with that, I will be leaving here, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. See ya!